Imagine yourself on a battlefield. Chaos surrounds you, shouts echo in the air, and you feel the pressure closing in from all sides. This isn't a scene from a historical movie. It's your reality in today's cryptocurrency market. The battles aren't fought with swords, but with reason and patience. In a world where money moves at lightning speed, only those who can maintain their composure will emerge victorious. But what if I told you there's a philosophy that can make you invincible in this digital arena? In today's video, we're going to pit two worlds against each other, Stoicism and cryptocurrencies. You'll learn why the philosophy of the ancient Stoics might be your most powerful weapon against market panic, and how applying their teachings could allow you to outpace even the most greedy traders. Watch this video until the end to discover why Stoics might have been the best millionaires of our time, and why you too can become one. Let's start with a simple question. What do a philosopher and a trader have in common? At first glance, it might seem like nothing. However, if you look closer, you'll see that both strive for the same thing, control over their minds and emotions. The difference is that the Stoic seeks this control within, while the trader looks for it in the external market. But what if we combine these two approaches? Stoicism, as a philosophy, was born over 2,000 years ago. Its founders, such as Epictetus, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius, taught that the most important thing is not what happens around us, but how we react to it. Stoics believed that by controlling our reactions, we could achieve inner peace and resilience, despite the chaos of the outside world. Sound familiar? This is exactly what many investors lack when they lose money due to fear and greed. Consider this. In the crypto market, you're constantly facing ups and downs. News, rumors, tweets, all of these trigger reactions that overwhelm your thoughts and push you to make rash decisions. But a Stoic would never fall for these manipulations. They would keep a cool head and stick to their plan, no matter what happens around them. This approach is what sets successful investors apart from those who panic sell their assets. Let's look at a simple example. You've decided to invest in Bitcoin. At the time of purchase, you believe in its potential and are ready to hold it for the long term. But after a few weeks, the market starts to drop. A voice in your head says, "You need to sell, now or never." This is the voice of fear, which often leads people to make mistakes. A Stoic in this situation would pause, take a deep breath, and ask themselves one simple question. What can I control? Control is the key word. You can't control the market. You can't control the news. You can't control Elon Musk's tweets, but you can control your reaction to all of this. The Stoics taught that we must distinguish between what depends on us and what doesn't. In investing, this knowledge can be invaluable. If you understand that you cannot change the external world, you stop worrying about what's happening around you. You focus on what you can personally do. In our situation, the Stoic approach might look like this. The market is falling, but you remain calm. You understand that the current decline is just part of the market cycle, and if your initial assumptions were correct, the price will eventually recover and even rise. You realize that you don't have power over the market, but you do have power over your decisions. Instead of panicking and selling at a loss, you choose to stick to your plan and wait for better times. Now imagine another investor. He also bought Bitcoin, but when he sees the price drop, he panics. He can't stand the pressure and sells his assets at a low point, fearing he'll lose everything. Later, when the market recovers, he realizes he made a mistake, but there's nothing he can do to change it. This person was driven by emotions, not reason. He wasn't a Stoic. In Stoicism, there's a concept known as amor fati, love of fate. The Stoics believe that you should accept your fate as it is, without trying to fight the inevitable. In investing, this means accepting that the market will move, sometimes against your expectations. But instead of panicking, the Stoic accepts this movement as part of a larger plan and adapts their actions while remaining calm. Let's take another example, more contemporary this time. Imagine you've invested in a new meme coin. You understand it's a high-risk investment and are prepared to lose everything. But then, the meme coin starts to skyrocket in value. Your first instinct is to sell and lock in profits, but a Stoic wouldn't rush. They would ask themselves, does this growth reflect the real value of the asset? If the answer is no, they wouldn't give in to greed, but would choose a strategy that aligns with their initial plan. The Stoics taught that greed and fear are the two main forces that drive the world. In investing, this is very evident. Greed pushes us to invest in assets that seem too good to be true. Fear, in turn, makes us dump assets when prices start to fall. But the Stoic understands that both greed and fear are destructive emotions that hinder rational decision-making. One of the most useful Stoic practices is negative visualization. Imagine the worst-case scenario. Your asset becomes completely worthless. Accept this as a possibility, not a catastrophe. Once you realize you can survive any loss, you free yourself from fear, and your investments become much more resilient. The Stoics also taught that one should always strive for virtue. In the context of investing, this means making choices based on ethical principles rather than the desire for quick profits. If you invest in a project that goes against your internal beliefs, you will never truly be at peace. But if you invest in what you genuinely believe is right, you will sleep soundly, regardless of what happens in the market. Let's consider another example: the stock market. Imagine you've bought shares in a company that deals in fossil fuels. After some time, protests against the company's environmental policies begin, and the stock price starts to fall. The Stoic would ask themselves, does this investment align with my values? If the answer is no, they would sell the shares, despite potential losses, preserving their inner harmony and confidence in their actions. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most famous Stoics, wrote, "No man is happy until he is content with himself." This principle can easily be applied to investments. You will never be satisfied with your portfolio if it's built on fear and greed. But if you invest wisely, adhering to your values and staying true to your principles, you will gain not only financial but also inner stability. It's important to understand that Stoicism isn't about inaction, but about not worrying about what you can't control. It's a proactive philosophy that helps you stay focused on what truly matters and not get distracted by temporary difficulties. This approach can make you a successful investor in the long term. Let's look at another key concept of Stoicism: moderation. This means avoiding extremes, both in life and in investments. For example, if the market offers you the opportunity for huge gains in a short time, ask yourself, does this align with my long-term goals? If the answer is no, it might be better to pass on this opportunity and continue following your plan. Moderation also manifests in diversifying your investments. A Stoic understands that putting all your money on one bet is unwise. They will seek a balance between risk and stability to ensure long-term security. This approach will allow you not only to preserve your capital, but also to grow it in the long run. It's important to remember that Stoicism doesn't advocate passivity. It's not a philosophy of avoiding risk, but of consciously accepting it when necessary. A Stoic isn't afraid to take a risky step if it aligns with their inner convictions and long-term goals. However, they will never act impulsively, driven by emotions. In the world of cryptocurrencies, where many investors chase quick profits, Stoics would stand out for their resilience and composure. They wouldn't rush to sell all their assets at the first market drop, or, conversely, invest everything in a rising asset without proper analysis. Their main weapon would be the ability to stay true to their principles despite market pressure. For example, if you see the market suddenly jump by 20% in a day, a Stoic wouldn't rush to buy just because they fear missing out. They would first analyze the situation, weigh the pros and cons, and only then make a decision. This approach protects you from rash actions and helps preserve capital. The Stoics also teach us that the world isn't obligated to be as we want it to be. This is especially relevant in investing. You can do everything right, conduct analysis, choose the best moment to enter the market, and develop a strategy. but the market can still move in the opposite direction. In such a situation, a Stoic wouldn't blame themselves or look for someone to blame. They would accept it as a given and adapt their actions to the new reality. One of the most powerful lessons of Stoicism is that our happiness and inner peace don't depend on external circumstances. For an investor, this means that success in the market shouldn't define your self-esteem. If you've done everything possible to make the right decision, but the market still went against you, that's no reason to despair. A Stoic would see this as just another lesson and continue on their path. Investing isn't a game of luck. It's a long-term process that requires discipline, patience, and common sense. Stoics might have been the best investors because they understood this better than anyone else. They didn't strive for quick profits, but for inner peace and harmony. And these are the qualities that would allow them to succeed in today's cryptocurrency market. Stoicism also teaches us to see opportunities in difficulties. When the market falls, many investors see only a threat to their capital. A Stoic, however, sees an opportunity to buy assets at a discounted price. They understand that a crisis is not only a risk, but also a chance for those who can maintain composure. Take, for example, the 2022 crisis, when many cryptocurrencies lost significant value. Many investors panicked and sold their assets, locking in losses. But a Stoic would have seen this as an opportunity to acquire valuable assets at a lower price and prepare for future growth. It's also important to understand that Stoicism doesn't rule out mistakes. Even the wisest and most experienced investors can make them. But a Stoic wouldn't dwell on their mistakes. They would accept them as part of their journey and use the experience gained to become better in the future. For example, if you invested in a project that didn't meet your expectations, a Stoic wouldn't blame themselves or others. They would draw conclusions and move forward, remaining true to their principles. In the end, Stoicism is a philosophy of action. It's a teaching that urges us to be proactive while maintaining inner peace. It's not a path of avoiding risk, but a path of reasonable management. And if you embrace these principles, you can become a successful investor, no matter how the market develops. So what makes a Stoic the best investor? It's their ability to stay calm in any situation, their ability to resist panic and greed, their understanding that true strength lies not in controlling the market, but in controlling oneself. It's their commitment to their principles and willingness to learn from their mistakes. When you apply Stoic principles to investing, you start to see the market in a completely different light. You stop fearing its fluctuations and begin to see them as an inevitable part of the game. You learn to accept what you cannot change and focus on what truly depends on you. In the end, Stoicism helps you become the best version of yourself, both in life and in investments. It teaches you to remain calm in any circumstances and to make informed decisions, even when everyone around you is panicking. And this is what makes a Stoic the best investor. Imagine how your life would change if you could remain calm and confident, no matter what happens in the market. If you could resist emotions and make decisions based solely on reason and common sense. Stoicism offers you this path. And if you embrace it, you can achieve success not only in investments, but also in life. If this video gave you a new perspective on investing and helped you understand how Stoicism can change your approach to cryptocurrencies, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We create content that not only inspires, but also helps you become better at what you do. Like this video if you want to learn more about how Stoic principles can help you build a sustainable and balanced investment portfolio. And be sure to leave a comment. Tell us what Stoic techniques you already apply in your life and how they help you in the financial market. If this video gets 500 likes, I'll release the next one, where I'll talk in detail about how to create a Stoic cryptocurrency investment portfolio that will help you not only minimize risks, but but also grow your capital. Don't miss this chance to become a better investor with us.